What is up guys, my name is Ignas, welcome back to the channel. I've been looking to buy into a name for my dividend portfolio on Revolut, specifically one from the food industry. And I have been recently considering Tyson Foods, ticker symbol TSN. They are a consumer staples name, world's second largest processor and marketer of chicken, beef and pork. This year the stock has been moving sideways, year to date is down for 1.47%. In 1 year the stock is up $10 per share, plus 13.23%, and these were quite choppy 5 years, but thankfully with the stock gaining over $24 per share, up 40.19%. TSN is now trading at a reasonable price to earnings of 8.11, and they have been paying a quarterly dividend, which currently comes in at a yield of 2.13%. So could Tyson Foods be an interesting pick for a dividend investor? To figure that out, we will check on 3 steps: dividend growth history of the last 5 years, dividend payout ratio, and lastly, we will check into the result on my dividend investing watchlist. So first part is the dividend payout. Back in 2017, Tyson Foods paid out 76 cents per share on the trailing 12 months. Then in a year, the payout increased to 97 cents. In 2019, it went a bit sideways, but there was still a small increase to 99 cents per share. Then there was a larger increase with the beginning of 2020, and by the middle of it, we had $1.56 per share on the trailing 12 months. In 2021 it increased to $1.73, and with the most recent quarter in, we now have the payout at $1.81. So there was a small hiccup back in 2018, where we had the payout decrease on the trailing 12 months, but overall the dividend payout did increase, and in 5 years it almost doubled, going from 76 cents to $1.81. So the dividend growth seems to be available for investors. We can also check how long they've managed to keep on increasing dividends, and Dividend.com suggests that they've been doing that for 11 years straight. So there is quite some history already on the dividend growth part. But how sustainable could that dividend be going further? Our next step is to check on the payout ratio. The percentage here suggests how much of company's earnings are paid back to shareholders as dividends. So in Tyson Foods' case, the payout ratio is at 23.38%. This means that the company is distributing less than a quarter of their earnings back to investors. That looks to be quite safe, as they still have plenty of room to spare for future payouts and increases. But now let's go further and take a look into my dividend investing watchlist. So here we have Tyson Foods' dividend yield history for the last 5 years. Back in 2018 the yield was at a lows of 1.11%, then by the end of it increased to 1.8%, after that it kept on going lower, and by the end of 2018 the bottom was at 1.24%. As the stock was selling off in 2020, we had the yield peaking at 2.65%, but after that there was a gradual decline, with the yield going closer to 2%, and recently with the stock selling a bit, the dividend yield also went higher to 2.13%. So out of this dividend yield history, we can find that on average in last 5 years the dividend yield was at 1.9%. So it was under this average up until 2020, and now for more than 2 years we are still above this average. So the worst time to buy in was back in 2017, where the dividend yield was at 1.11%, so 41.52% lower than the 5-year average. Then in 2018 we had it at 1.8%, which is 5.17% under average. 2019 another drop to 1.24%, 34.67% under average, but then there was the surge in 2020 where we had the yield at 2.65%, and that was almost 40% over the 5-year average yield, but it did start to fall off in 2021 with 2.27% in dividends, so 19.59% over average, and recently with the yield at 2.13%, we are 12.22% over the 5-year average yield. So it's not the greatest time to be buying into it for the yield, as in 5 years we did have a period where it was almost 40% over average, but still we are now looking at a 2% dividend yield, which is higher than the 5-year average, now over 12%. So not the best, but also not really the worst time to be buying in. And that was it. Make sure to support the channel and leave a thumbs up under the video. What do you think, is Tyson Foods a worthy pick right now? Share your stance on it in a comment below. If you would be interested in getting access to my dividend investing watchlist, then consider memberships. By becoming a member, you will get access to Discord, where I share the stock watchlist and all the buys and sells exactly when I do them. This could be a great option to do your own analysis or track my moves closely. Last week I have looked into another company, so if you would be interested in that, then click on a video that is currently on the screen. And that was it from my side. Thank you for watching, and I will be seeing y'all in the next one.